Hi, I thought I'd post a just short little video here, kind of trying to illustrate why we're doing this particular discussion. Before I do that, I want to point out that the whole point of classroom discussions is to try to deliver content in a fashion which you all work together to build knowledge, okay? And because this class is about the media, with this discussion, I'm trying to point out that there really is no such thing as the media, okay? There's lots of different kinds of media. There's old media, new media, traditional media, modern media, cutting-edge media. There's blogs, there's weather, there's podcasts, there's YouTube, there's still newspapers, there's billboards, there's books, there's pirate radio, there's of course, television, right? And within all those different genres, there are multiple choices that you could make, right? And I think the point to being a good media consumer is to avoid living inside an echo chamber, right? And many people do live inside an echo chamber when it comes to the media, right? And I don't think that's healthy. This is a democracy, and it's meant to be a marketplace of ideas, and a good democracy works when people are willing to engage the ideas, to think about the ideas, in detail, to think about the ideas in specifics, in terms of thinking about the ideas in terms of real examples. And so, for example, my wife and I recently traveled across 2/3 of the United States on a road trip just last week, okay? And we saw a lot of America, all right? And I want to tell you, it looks really good. It looks healthy, it looks happy, it looks cheerful. But there's some echo chambers of the media that would cause you not to believe that. And if you never left your mountain, okay, we live on a mountain, okay, and I know people up here that never leave it, and they have a different view of the way the world works or the way the United States is working, okay? And yet my wife and I, we got out and we saw it with our own eyes. We saw tons of employment. We saw tons of integration. We saw tons of healthy diversity, right? We saw tons of happy, cheerful people. We had positive contacts with lots of people. You know, we got off the interstates. We didn't just hang out in the interstates, right? We went to all different kinds of restaurants, all different kinds of stores, all different kinds of things that we saw and did, you know. And it's really a lovely, vibrant world out there. The United States is in good shape, okay? Don't let anybody tell you any different. And if you feel differently about that, then you may be living in somewhat of an echo chamber as far as it comes to media. Now, I know there are individual instances where things aren't working out well for you, that kind of stuff. I understand that, okay? But what I'm saying is that overall, okay, when you get the chance to look at all of the media and bring it together, you're going to see a different story than if you're living inside of an echo chamber. So briefly going over my media, I start the morning with my media, okay? And I start the morning, every morning we get up, have a cup of coffee. If the weather's nice, we sit on our deck. Our deck overlooks a mountain stream, all right? And we sit there and we get our iPads out. I don't do much traditional reading anymore, okay? It's mostly iPad. I go over the New York Times. I don't read every article, but I read a lot of articles in the New York Times. I look at Facebook, where I have a lot of links to news sources, that kind of thing, and a variety of news sources, a wide variety. I'm not just looking at the New York Times all the time. I know what Rush Limbaugh is saying every day. I know what Fox News is saying every day, all right? I know what the so-called liberal media, which I don't believe there is any liberal media, okay? I believe there's mainstream media, yes. And so I look at all that. The dimension, I look at the weather. I think that's media. It's very, very important media. I always look at ESPN. I'm a big football follower, so I kind of see what's going on in the football world, right? I listen to a variety of podcasts. I have a Twitter feed. I have all kinds of columnists that link to my Twitter feed. My Gmail account is just crammed with news alerts and that kind of stuff. So I'm getting a steady dose of media all day long, practically. Every time I sit down for a cup of coffee, I get my iPad out. I don't watch television, and it's not that I'm against television. I just think that TV news is kind of hyped, all right? I hate CNN. I hate Fox News. I'm not a big fan of the major networks. They just kind of hype things at you. And television can't do things in depth. Television's always looking for the scandal, the easy stuff to talk about, right? There's an old saying in the media, if it bleeds, it leads, all right? And television's all about ratings, okay? It's always all about ratings. They're trying to attract an audience, okay? So I don't trust television very well, and I don't like to get all hyped up. I don't want to sit down at 6 o'clock and have my blood pressure raised by all this stuff. I know when the jet in Malaysia was crashed and missing. I knew all that, but I didn't have to watch it every night on CNN 24/7. And the truth is, I'm flying to Malaysia shortly, so so last year I really didn't want to watch that. Okay, so but the bottom line here is the media is a huge, diverse entity. It's not one thing. All right, very diverse. And the other bottom line is don't live inside an echo chamber. So hey, hope this has been a little entertaining.